So Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang is set to arrive in Seoul this afternoon and hold a series of meetings with leaders of some of South Korea's largest companies. For more on this, we're joined today by Professor Kwak Jun-hee, Assistant Professor of Economics at Sogang University. Professor Kwak, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So a so-called Jensen Huang rally swept the Korean stock market this week, with shares spiking for companies mentioned by Huang or slated to meet with the Nvidia CEO. What should we be watching for during his visit to Seoul?
Right. So Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang's visit to South Korea is far more than a routine diplomatic tech tour, I think. I think it is a highly calculated scouting mission. While the headlines will inevitably focus on the sheer star power of the visit, the real story is entirely business focused. If you're watching this space, keep your eyes on concrete partnership expansions, particularly in robotics and next-generation cloud infrastructure. Huang's itinerary is a masterclass in ecosystem building. He's taking high-level meetings with the leaders of Korea's major conglomerates, SK, LG, Naver, and Hyundai. Each of these giants hold a specific puzzle piece Nvidia needs. SK provides memory, LG supplies advanced displays and automotive components. Naver dominates local software and cloud in Korea. Hyundai is pioneering autonomous mobility. But what is genuinely moving the needle for investors is the significant time Huang is dedicating to Korea's startup ecosystem. He is not just staying in boardrooms, he is holding a dedicated closed-door session with local AI and robotics startups at the Shilla Hotel and visiting Seoul National University's AI and robotics institutes. In the current market, an official nod or partnership from Nvidia acts as a kingmaker. It instantly validates a startup's technology on the global stage, essentially acting as a stamp of approval that says this company is building the future. As a result, we saw a Jensen Huang rally before where investors are aggressively driving up the shares of any domestic company tied to Nvidia's hardware or software platforms.
Right, and Korea is home to some of the world's leading memory chip makers, right? What role do Korean companies like Samsung Electronics and SK hynix play in Nvidia's AI ecosystem, and how critical are they to the global AI supply chain?
When you talk about the AI boom, Nvidia often takes all the credit. However, the core truth is this: South Korean chip makers are the irreplaceable backbone of Nvidia's hardware dominance. Nvidia designs the world's most advanced AI processors. Their GPUs are the undisputed gold standard. However, those processors are effectively useless without HBM, that's high bandwidth memory, to fit a massive amount of data at lightning speed. Right now, SK hynix and Samsung Electronics essentially hold a duopoly on the world's high-end HBM supply. They are the only companies capable of manufacturing these memory skyscrapers at the scale and quality NVIDIA requires. If you think of NVIDIA's GPU as a state-of-the-art, high-performance sports car engine, Korean HBM is the high-octane racing fuel that actually allows it to run. You can have the best engine in the world, but without the right fuel, it is not going anywhere. Without NVIDIA's designs, there is no AI boom, but without Korean memory chips, the global AI supply chain would instantly grind to a halt.
I see. And Huang had earlier cited robotics as a promising area for future investment in Korea ahead of his visit to Seoul. And this comes amid intense global competition in AI, right? What opportunities does this present for Korea's semiconductor and tech industries?
So we are currently witnessing a massive industry-defining shift. For the past 2 years, the focus has been entirely on software AI, think chatbots, image generators, and tools like ChatGPT. Now the frontier is moving toward physical AI, artificial intelligence that has a body and can interact with the real three-dimensional worlds through robotics and autonomous systems. South Korea is exceptionally well positioned to lead this transition, I think. The country already boasts the highest robot density in the world and has a deep institutional expertise in advanced manufacturing, smart factories, and hardware integration, as we see from Hyundai factory. The newly announced alliance between Naver and Nvidia is one example of this pivot as well. They are collaborating to build a global AI factory. This partnership is not just to a standard hardware for software trade. Naver Cloud is deeply integrating NVIDIA's platforms to build complex while simulating systems like the Seoul world model. This ambitious project acts as a digital twin of the city, bridging accurate digital maps with physical AI. It allows robust, autonomous vehicles and drones to navigate and learn in a perfectly simulated physical environment before ever hitting the streets. For Korea's tech industry, this is a monumental opportunity. It allows them to move beyond their traditional role of just supplying the hardware, positioning them to become the core developers of the world's next generation robotics software and spatial computing infrastructure.
Right, and Professor Kwak, before I let you go, how does Jensen Huang's visit today reflect Korea's strategic importance in the global technology landscape?
Right, so all of this highlights a fundamental shift in how South Korea operates on the global stage. Korea is actively proving that it's not just a high-end subcontractor for Silicon Valley's big tech, but a vital independent player in the global AI race. Beyond feeding HBM to Nvidia, Korea has been quietly and aggressively developing its own domestic ecosystem of KAI semiconductors. These are neural processing units designed specifically to run AI models highly efficiently. We are now seeing the lucrative fruits of this labor. Domestic AI chip startups like Rebellions or Furiosa AI have definitely moved past the prototype and testing phases. Recently, these companies secured over $30 million in export contracts across regions like the UK and Taiwan. They are not trying to beat NVIDIA at training massive foundation models. Instead, they are dominating niche applications ranging from smart mobility and automotive AI to high-speed disaster management systems. And I think furthermore, these companies represent a neutral, highly advanced alternative in a globally fragile supply chain.
Right, a lot to look forward to throughout his visit. All right, Professor Kwak, thank you so much for your time and insight today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.